What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's call. It is just me on this solo group call tonight, but I have just gotten off a one-on-one call, and there was a topic that I just discussed, and I feel like it's going to be extremely helpful for a lot of people because it definitely has been for me. And it's all around letting go of control. And there's a few different points that I want to bring up in this chat. And it's not going to go super long, so please stick around and watch. And if you do get some value out of it, I'd love for you to comment below with what you took away from this and whether or not you resonated with this. And so we'll take it all the way back. One of the first things I told every single one of you about the law of attraction and manifesting is the fact that one of the main things that blocks people from manifesting what they desire into their life is trying to control the outcome and trying to force it. And so if you think about all of the greatest things that have ever happened in your life, you haven't needed to control or force any of them. They've just happened, whether it's meeting your partner, whether it's getting a specific job, whether it's this, that, the other, whatever. You don't need to force or control it. And when we let go of control, we're also removing resistance. So we're in a state of non-resistance, which is where we are at our highest frequency. And we're also opening up that ability, the capacity to receive. And so what I want to challenge you guys to do off the back of this video tonight or today, whenever you're watching this, is I want you to think about the areas of your life where you feel the need to control. Now, this can play out in a number of different ways, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples that I think you'll be able to relate to. What areas of your life do you feel like you need to control? Whether it's with your partner, always needing to control, like organizing stuff, not needing to know what you're doing at what time, whether it's going away on a trip and having to have a very clear indication of every single little detail, whether it's what you're doing on a daily basis, whether it's in a conversation with a friends group and needing to be the one who has control of the conversation, and or in a workplace and needing to be the one who's kind of in charge of the meeting, or the one who's making all the points in a conversation. There's so many different ways control plays out, and there's so many layers to it as well. Now, like most things to do with limiting beliefs, a lot of this stems from our traumas, our conditioning, our environment, and a lot of this does come from our childhood as well. Okay, and so I developed this need to control very early on, right? Because I was always very insecure, always very anxious. And so for me, it was like, okay, I don't want to feel like that. And so what can I do in order to not feel like that? And that led to control. It was like, okay, I need to, and for me, this developed, to be perfectly honest, like it's not really something that I've spoken about a lot with many people, but it really did develop to the point where it was almost OCD. Like I needed to control everything, and I would have all these superstitions and borderline OCD with a lot of things. And it was so exhausting and mentally draining and created a lot of the anxiety that I had for myself. But when I look at it, a lot of this was based off the fact that I felt like I needed to control certain things to know that I would be okay. Okay, I needed to control everything in my life to make sure that I was going to be okay. And that's how I viewed it. And so, of course, if I want to feel okay and I want to be safe and I want to be all right, I need to be the one in control. And so that was making sure everything was planned the way I wanted it to be. It was doing my workouts in the exact same fucking order, putting my fucking shoes on in the same way. Everything. Like when I really strip it all back, everything I was trying to control and force everything. And the only reason is because it stemmed from having insecurities or feeling like I needed to fit in or feeling the need for validation. And so in order for me to get what I wanted, to experience what I wanted, I needed to control. And so here's the thing about needing to control. And what you'll also understand or start to think about as you dissect this for yourself is that there's areas in your life where you don't even realize you're trying to control it. There's areas that you don't even realize that you're trying to control it. And now what happens when we let go of the control at the beginning is it is fucking uncomfortable, right? Because when we don't have control, we got to ask ourselves, why do I even need it in the first place? Okay, it's because I want to be safe. I want to know that things are going to work out the way that I want them to. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't want uncertainty. I don't want anything unfamiliar. But if you think of all the words I just said, they're the exact opposite of attracting. In order to attract, I need to have an unfamiliar feeling. To experience something new, there needs to be an unfamiliar feeling. It has to be some form or sense of uncertainty. It has to be the unknown. Okay. And that is extremely important to experience something different, because if it's comfortable, safe, familiar, it's the same shit that you've already done. You're not going to experience anything different. And so by letting go of control, which feels uncomfortable, all right, because we're starting to get anxious, we're starting to worry about what's the outcome going to be, starting to worry about, okay, what if I'm not okay, or what if there's something that throws me off that I don't know, or that I'm uncertain with, or not confident in. And it's a bit of a vulnerable feeling. But there's kind of two sides to this, right? Now, on this call before, we were speaking about partnership, right? As in, like, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, however you want to place, however you want to say it, right? You get the picture. In a relationship, right? So let's say myself and my fiance, if I'm controlling everything all of the time to make sure it goes the way that I want, not only am I blocking my ability to receive, but what it's also doing indirectly, and you're not doing this on purpose, and you probably have never even thought of it in this way, but what it's also saying to my partner is that I don't think you're good enough to do this for me. I don't have enough trust or faith in you to do it right, so I'm going to do it. And so I use this example where it was this fucking horrible situation where our Kelpie had been really, really unwell. He was on a ventilator, on life support. And there's so many spiritual things that I feel like I'd love to share with you guys. And I'll do that in the next call, because it'll blow your mind how many synchronicities and the law of vibration, the law of attraction, just hard at work. It was crazy, right? But the point of this story is that at the back end of it, he came off the ventilator and came off life support on a Sunday morning. It was incredible. It was the most, like, I'm so incredibly grateful. It was, yeah, it's just amazing. And so we got to take him home that day because he'd been in this emergency for 3 days. We got to bring him home, but the very next morning, I was meant to be flying to the Sunshine Coast to go and do a week-long meditation retreat with Joe Dispenza. And so not only am I not in a fucking state where I feel like I can meditate, but also I felt so guilty that I was leaving. I was leaving my partner to take care of Russ, our Kelpie, and he needed a lot of care, basically 24-hour care for the first week. And so I felt guilty. I felt ashamed. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't have any control over what was going on with him. And so I got on the plane, and I was at the airport, sorry, and I bumped into a good friend of mine who happened to be going to the same retreat, which I didn't know. Her name's Emma Murray. If you guys want to have a listen to any of the podcast episodes I've done with her, she's an incredible mindset coach for AFL teams, a lot of corporates, Olympians. If you're an F1 fan, she's Oscar Piastri's mindset coach. And so we bumped into each other. I explained the whole thing to her. And, at that time I was fucking emotionally unstable. Like, I was just crying, like, randomly, just based off how hectic the previous 3-4 days had been. And we got on the plane, and I asked her, I said to her, how would you deal with this? And I was telling her how I'd been messaging my partner saying, I'm so sorry. I feel so guilty. I wish I wasn't leaving. What can I do to help? This, that, the other. And she just basically said to me, she's like, you need to stop that shit straight away. And I was like, well, I'm just trying to help. I feel bad. I should be there to help. And she said, no, what you're doing is you are saying to her that she can't handle it, that she doesn't have the ability to look after him without you being there, that without you being there, things aren't going to go right. And instead, she said, do not apologize again, and just express your gratitude and express your confidence in the fact that she can take care of this on her own. And so what I'd been doing is, and this is just in one situation, but when I look at all the other situations as well, I was always having to control things, which leads the other person or the other group of people to think that you don't trust or have any belief in them. And so in this case, by me stopping apologizing and all the rest of it, and just having trust and faith and gratitude towards Danielle, it was such an empowering thing for her to have this whole week where it was her responsibility. And so that was a big, and the way that Emma explained it to me, she's like, this is going to be an empowering thing for Danielle, to be able to take all this responsibility, which I already knew that she could do. It's not like I didn't have trust in her, or it's not like I didn't have confidence that she couldn't do it. It was just, it was a me thing. It was a selfish thing, right? Because I felt guilty. And so I was kind of placing that onto her. And so by me changing how I approached that, she looked after him for the week. She did an incredible job, like I knew she would. And it was uncomfortable at first, but the thing that happened at the end of it is just this understanding of like, okay, I didn't need to control that. And I'm okay. Russ is okay. Danielle's okay. Everyone's okay. And it was the first time I'd let go of control. And so when I said before that forcing and controlling blocks our ability to receive, I want to give you one more example. And after today's call, I want you to have a think about where in your life you feel the need to control. As I said, it might be relationship, it might be in conversation with friends or work colleagues. It could be planning your every detail of your day and how things need to be. And if they're not that way, then you feel uncomfortable or you feel that things aren't going to work out correctly. Without capacity, time, energetic, and space capacity to receive, there's no way to receive. We understand that our thoughts, our actions, our energy, our habits, our language is what's going to dictate and determine what we receive. The universe is a mirror, it's not a window, meaning what I put out into the universe is what I will receive back. And so one of the goals and intentions for me for the longest time, and because I had to work through removing limiting beliefs around money and change my beliefs around income and finances and money and everything to do with money, I was setting these intentions based off certain income or certain benchmarks that I wanted to reach, and changing my relationship and beliefs around money, which is a neutral energy. And so I'm going to spend a whole call talking about the energy of money at some point in time. But the thing I'll say today is that money is a neutral energy. It doesn't care about us. It doesn't have an opinion of us. Our experience of money is a direct reflection of our belief about money. It's neutral. Okay. And that's all I'll say for now. But I have this thing where it's very much a people pleaser trait. And it's also probably a bit of a control thing that I find it really fucking hard to receive. Meaning I get really awkward when someone gives me a gift. Okay. I get really awkward when people do things for me. And I get extremely awkward when people pay a certain amount of money for me. Right? Something as simple as someone buying me a coffee or paying for lunch or dinner or just doing something generous and giving me a gift. I find that really difficult to receive. And it's a people pleaser control thing because I love doing shit for other people. Like I love being of service to other people. And you can tell that, right? Through the amount of content I put out, through the amount of passion I get on these calls with. I fucking love doing shit for other people. I love buying things for other people, right? I love that feeling of being able to give. But what I didn't realize is I was blocking my ability to receive. I'm saying that I want to attract financial freedom, attract more wealth, attract a specific amount of income each month. Yet every single time the universe gave me an opportunity to receive, I blocked it, right? You might buy me a coffee. My response is, I'll buy you. Do you want me to get you some food? I'll buy you some food now to say thank you, or I'll give you some money to pay back for the coffee. Every time someone gives me a gift, whether it's for a birthday or whatever it is, I feel the instant need to buy them a gift to do it back. Every time I go out for lunch or dinner, whether it be with my fiance, whether it be with friends, work colleagues, for a meeting, I'm spending like the last fucking 5 to 10 minutes every single time getting ready to quickly go pay so then I can be the one who takes care of everyone. Right. Like and I think it's a thing I'll say, and this is what it's really hard to wrap your head around. It's not a bad thing to be of service to other people, but you've got to look at, okay, am I going too far? Am I getting to the point where I'm blocking my ability to receive? And so every single time I had the ability to receive, I block it by feeling uncomfortable, by paying someone back, by being the first person to go and pay so no one else can do it, by finding out someone's fucking bank details so I can transfer the money to say thank you because I don't like the fact that someone did something for me and I didn't do anything for them. Crazy shit. Now on the surface, it's a very nice thing to do. It's an act of service. But when you really break it down, the universe sees this and goes, every single time he goes to receive money, he blocks it and denies the ability to receive money. Think about that for a second. All right. It's crazy. I needed to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable when people did shit for me, because that's why I was not receiving. That's why I wasn't attracting these outcomes that I wanted from a financial perspective, because every single time I had the ability to receive a gift, a fucking coffee, lunch, money, whatever, I was blocking it. Now, the thing is, part of the reason why I give so much is because it feels good. And I started to see this example with my mum. You know, my mum's very similar. She goes above and beyond for other people, and she finds it very difficult to receive. Like, I'll buy her something beautiful, I'll buy her a gift, no matter how big or small, and her response before thank you or before how much she loves it is, it's too expensive, or I'll transfer your money, or I'll give this back, or I don't need this, go and get a refund, whatever it is, right? And it's not because she doesn't like it, it's because she feels guilty or she feels uncomfortable receiving. And every time she does that, fuck, it pisses me off. Like, oh my God, I'll buy her something, I'll feel really good for purchasing something for her. And it doesn't always have to be money related. It could just be doing something to help her out, or doing something because I love her and I want to, give. I want to be of service to her. But when she doesn't allow me to do it, it fucking pisses me off. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to do something nice for you here. Like, I know you're trying to be nice as well, but that just means that I don't get to do something good for you. And that's fucking frustrating for me. And so I looked at that and I was like, oh my God, I've been doing this to everyone else. I know what it feels like when I try and do something for someone else and they don't allow it. Yet that's what I do to fucking everyone. And so I needed to get really uncomfortable with letting go of control, because it's almost a selfish thing to give in it to an extent, which is weird, right? But when you think about it, by me doing something for someone else, yes, it helps them, but it's also just validating me, makes me feel good, right? Makes me look good, whatever. And that's not why I do it. But from an energetic standpoint, that's what's happening. And so I needed to drastically change that. I needed to realize that, okay, if I'm asking to attract this financial outcome, I need to be completely comfortable with receiving uncomfortable amounts of money or success or growth or new clients or whatever the fuck it is. And so this is also a really good reminder for every single one of you. What are the limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Because it's not always just black and white. And the further we get into personal development, the further you will start to fine tune and pick up on patterns, pick up on the defaults, the beliefs that you know to be 100% true, but maybe they're not true. And again, personal development is a process of elimination, and we're continuing to remove and eliminate the blocks that are not allowing you to receive. And so if control is one of those blocks for you, my challenge to you over this next week, not only is it to bring some awareness to where you are trying to control, but my challenge to you is to let go of control. Okay. If it's with your partner, let go of all control. Next time you're going out on a date, or you're going to go away for the weekend, or just the weekend itself, allow your partner to take control. Allow your partner to plan everything without you needing to have your say or having to know exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, and all the rest of it. Drive a fucking different day to work. Put on your shoes in a different order than what you usually would. When someone does something for you, get okay with feeling uncomfortable about the fact that someone did something for you, and see it as, okay, I'm improving my ability to receive. And so we want a bit of a mix of both. We need a bit of a balance. It is perfectly fine, and it's a great thing to be of service to other people. But when the time comes for you to be the one who people are being of service for you, allow it, enjoy it, express gratitude for it. Because not only is it allowing you to receive and it's removing the blocks, you're also empowering the other person. And so to block that ability to receive is not only, it's blocking your ability, but it is also saying to the other person that you don't have confidence, trust, faith, and what they're doing is not good enough, and you're not allowing it. And so you're robbing them of this incredibly high frequency feeling. So hopefully this has made somewhat sense. I know I've rambled a lot here, but it was really fresh on my mind, and you can probably tell from the way I'm explaining it. Like, I love this shit. Like, I love continuing to dive into and dissect these things and see how it all connects. It is all connected, guys. You know, again, like, it's the process of elimination. If we continue to remove the things that are in the way, you guys can have and experience whatever it is that you want. I truly mean that. And when I used to hear people say, you know, you can do whatever you want, you can, when you put your mind to something, you can achieve it, you can attract whatever you want, and there's more than enough abundance to go around. Like, it is a cheesy sounding thing, but it's so true. The only reason you haven't experienced or got the thing in your life that you want most is because you haven't allowed it. So hopefully, guys, you've enjoyed this one. If you have, as I said, would love for you to comment below. Let me know your feedback on tonight's call, and chuck some examples below. Once you've had a listen through and you're starting to think of examples for yourself, feel free to share some of them in the group below. And I'd love to see what comes up for some of you guys. And appreciate you tuning in and hoping you have an incredible day.